Welcome back to The Gravy, and look, we've done it. We have motor scooted from Strathmore to Auckland. It was quite good. Jesuit Road was a bit hairy, but you know. Now, Albert Belz is an award-winning playwright. He's written about things as diverse as the Springbok Tour of '81 and Jack the Ripper. So there you go, that's range. Who wants more range than that? He's in one of these houses, and hopefully he's got the tea on, because I'm really hungry and a bit thirsty. But she did well.
It's the whare I've been hanging out in for the last couple of months. Been working on my last few scripts here. Funnily enough, the caravan is right next door to Mum and Dad's. People might think it's a little bit strange.
Yeah, heaps of people still do that.
Cool, yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, it's quite normal, I think.
Yeah.
In a way.
Well, it's only been a couple of months, so that's all right, eh?
Oh, yeah.
I watched a whole lot of television as a kid, all the great classics. Magic Roundabout, Knight Rider, Chips, you know, you name it. Watch far too much.
He liked Thunderbirds and Lady Penelope. Yeah, well, she was a special show of her own.
Yeah.
I don't know if I wanted to be a writer at that point, but it certainly took my imagination somewhere.
When the family got together and all the cousins were around, they wanted to sit down and listen to Albie's stories. The kids liked the stories.
So were there any other things you liked doing? Any other habits he had when he was a kid?
He loved his Dungeons and Dragons.
A lot of my writing, my initial writing came from being a dungeon master, but I'm all grown up now, so don't play it as often.
Yeah, I knew someone who used to play the game.
20.
Oh, good.
Wicked.
What does that mean?
It means he's dead.
And how old are you again?
Do you like Dwarf?
Oh, yeah, us too. Oh, he's like that Lord of the Rings guy.
Yeah, but he's dead. That's certainly the roots of my writing and the imagination being sparked came from this fantasy worlds that myself, my cousins, my mates would create.
He didn't show me work. It was others who showed me his work.
Right.
Like even his older brother brought some poetry to me that he had written. And at the time it was a bit on the dark side, but it was quite amazing. There's a lawn to mow when you finish that, Albie.
My first real brush with writing was getting a gig on Shortland Street as an actor, of all things. It was my first acting gig ever.
Well, what's this then?
It's a tomato. What do you think?
Looks a bit off to me, eh? No offence.
It's sun-dried.
Oh, like Deck.
Yeah, like Dick.
So, having given acting a bit of a shot, I decided I didn't like those lines. I could probably do it better. I ended up being a storyliner on Shortland Street.
No joke.
For me, it was a bunch of people sitting around the table on a Monday, coming up with Barbie meets Ken kind of stuff.
You gotta be kidding, man. What did your last slave die of?
From there, started writing Tamonga, which was my first play. The themes of Tamonga were pretty much that classic Māori Pākehā kind of who are we. One of the brothers had been left at home with his father who brought him up with a lot of tikanga, while the other brother went with his mum, who was a Pākehā woman. Both brothers loved their parents, but the twain had been broken, I guess.
Clinging to their stupid bloody traditions and their stupid bloody rivalries and their stupid bloody land.
I'd been brought up with a Pākehā father and a Māori mother, and I guess I was just trying to find my voice. My second play, Awhitapu, was about the economic destruction of a small town. I based it on a town where I used to live. The government had shut down the forestry, no money. The dairy, that had fallen under. You're in the middle of a forest, and the volunteer fire station had closed. This whole thing affected 4 friends who were desperately clinging to any shrapnel of hope.
Nothing but shrubs and gorse at the very top of the hill, sticking out like a defiant green finger. Fuck you! Is that all you got?
Was nominated for a Chapman Trip for Best New Zealand Play, which it didn't win. I remember it now, though.
When I'm writing, I always find I'm drawn to the psychology of characters, the psychology of people. What inspires you as a writer?
Quite literally, if something keeps me awake at night and I just can't get to sleep, then I know I've got something, and I'll just do everything I can to punch that something out onto the page, just drive it through and hopefully get a first draft out of it.
So obviously, you take it seriously, it's a serious vocation, it's more than a job, isn't it?
No, it's deadly serious, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do without it. A critic in the Dominion Post commented that Albert Belz was New Zealand's boldest Māori playwright. As fiercely proud as I am of being Māori, it's like, I'm a playwright, you know. I don't need a label of some description. I just want to write whatever interests me, what grabs me. That eventually evolved into yours truly, which was a story about Jack the Ripper.
A message shall be sent through history. I am down on whores, Mr. Sickert. Join me, and all shall witness. London our easel, women our canvas, and we paint in blood red.
I'd read this book by Stephen Knight. Within this book was a picture of Mary Kelly on her deathbed, and she'd been ripped to shreds, quite literally. I wanted to figure out what could create that kind of evil, what it took to make this absolute freaking horror. It was nominated for 9 different Chapman Trip Awards, one of them being the best new New Zealand play, which it won this time. Funnily enough, workshopping my latest play, Guardians of Boys.
Well, I'd like to start by saying kia ora, everyone. Kia ora, Albert Belz. Albert Belz, our boldest Māori playwright. I'd like to tautoko to Albert there. Kia ora.
I find them incredibly useful, just being able to see what you saw in your imagination in 3 dimensions. Guardians of Boy, it's a kid's play about these toys who live under a boy's bed, and they protect them from any nightmares he might have.
Sorry, bro, is it like the toys live under the bed, bro?
Yeah, because, well, that's where toys live, I guess.
Well, actually, no, I live in a doll's house.
I can't really see myself under a bed, Albert.
For me, workshopping is definitely something I would happily consider for the future of my work. My next play, Te Karakia, which I was lucky enough to get several workshops organised by Takiroa Productions. That play premiered at the New Zealand Festival of the Arts. Race, rugby, religion, 1981 Springboks were sprinkled in there.
2 policemen are said to be seriously injured. At least 150 people were arrested.
Some really vivid memories and images have stayed with me in terms of the general violence that you got to see on TV every night. Even as a 10-year-old, I knew something's going on here that's really important. Despite the themes being race, rugby, religion, I was able to slide those under an actual love story. I just wanted to entertain them, give them a good story. Basically, the future for my writing is working with good people on good ideas. That's why I want to be here. Albert Belz, the playwright. He happens to be Māori and fiercely proud of both of those. Kia ora.